Hello YouTube, WJhandyDad here, and today we are following up with more tips on the police auctions. This here is a Dodge Charger with the Hemi. It says that it is an RT and not just a police vehicle. So I don't know if they bought an RT and then used it as a police vehicle, or if it's got police specs and it also has some RT features about it, maybe like a street appearance package on the Crown Vics. But you see it's got the RT badge there. And basically what you want to do is look at the photos. Sometimes they only give you one or two. In this case they gave a bunch of photos. Just look for anything that you can see in the photos. For example, here in the interior it's got leather seats and it has the shifter in the middle, not on the steering wheel. So this probably is an RT vehicle. That could be good or bad depending on what you're looking for. You notice it looks like it's got floor mats in it, so it probably has carpet as well. And then you notice this one has a back seat. Typically what I find is if it doesn't have a back seat, they won't show a picture of it. So that's kind of the rule I go with. Obviously you might get lucky and have a back seat, but usually when it has one they will show a picture of it and use that to help you with your bidding. So this one they had 3 Chargers, and clicking on this one, this is a Oreo colored one. In this one they also gave extra photos. Like I said, I've seen auctions where they only give you 1 photo or maybe 2. Here you've got 8, so kind of go around the vehicle and see what you can see. Also look at the text description that they give you. It usually will tell you things like the last date it was in service. And usually they'll tell you if there's any sort of problems that were known, if it was running at the time they took it out of service, or if it wasn't running, different things like that. There's usually also contact information for somebody, and I find, if you call them and talk to them, they usually will be honest with you and tell you what they know about the vehicle. Every once in a while I run into somebody that's just rude and they won't talk to you at all, and don't bid on those cars. So like this one, looking any kind of front end damage, and like seeing this picture, you see they left the spotlight on but there's no push bar, missing the little hubcap there in the front, so factor that into your price. Also, if you can live with the paint job, or if you're gonna want to paint it, and just know things like painting it with the rattle can versus having it professionally done, or if you're able to do it professionally yourself. That's going to make a big difference in the price, the cost, the longevity of the paint job, and so forth. So here there's nothing really abnormal about this car. It's just obviously an old patrol car. It doesn't look like it was wrecked or anything. It is missing the hubcap, and strangely enough they've left the spotlight on even though they took the push bumper off. So you see, just like a lot of the patrol cars, on the Chargers they rip the center console completely out and just leave you with this bare exposed area, a lot of times with wires. This one has floor mats, which is interesting. I don't know if they put those on top of the rubber floor or if this one actually has carpet, but that's an interesting thing. Usually the floor mats won't stay on the rubber floor, they move all over the place. And you see the little spotlight handle there. Doesn't necessarily mean the spotlight's working, but it's at least in there, and that's $200 to $400 to replace if you wanted to put another spotlight on. This one also has a back seat, although it looks like it's not totally in properly, so probably had the prisoner seat and then they just tossed this one in there, but at least they gave it to you. I mean, I've seen them obviously where there's just the bare metal floor there, and I don't know what's sitting on the floorboard over there. You never know sometimes when you buy these cars what you might find when you get them home. And then just the seat there has some weird wear on it. I don't know what that's all about. Not a major factor, but just something to look at. And again, it looks kind of like a floor mat there. In this auction, if we go back a step here, you can see there's all sorts of categories of things that they're auctioning, not just vehicles. So you may find something else you're interested in. I typically only bid on the vehicles. So now you see they've got some Tahoes as well. You see kind of the bidding prices there. Things I look for, like when the high bidder number, if you see the same bidder on multiple ones, usually it means it's a car dealer. Not necessarily, but it probably is. So if you're just looking to buy for your own personal use, you may be able to outbid them easier than if you see all different numbers. They're probably individuals trying to buy it for their personal use. And just like with the cars, read the descriptions there and see what sort of issues they're disclosing and whether you can live with those or fix those economically. Again, whether your plan is to buy these for personal use or for resale, obviously that you got to factor in all of that. For personal use, you can usually get a pretty good bargain on here. If you're buying them strictly to sell them and trying to make a profit, obviously there's a lot of gamble there because you just don't know if you're going to get it, find hidden things that weren't obvious, or you just run into a market where nobody wants to buy one right now. Or you may get it and drive it and fall in love with it and want to keep it. So, not that that's ever happened to me, but yeah, I bought my Charger with the intent to flip it, and almost 2 years later I still have it. So that does happen. Anyway, there's a bunch of Tahoes here. You see the prices on these are pretty consistent. Some of the auctions I see, the prices are all over the place. Year models might be close, but the condition may be so far off that the bids end up all over the place. So just looking at all the angles, trying to see if there's damage or anything obvious. And then when you look in the inside, like this one's got rip on the seat that they're showing you. May be the only damage to the seat, it's hard to tell. And then looks like all of theirs had those wires hanging down there. I don't know what they removed there, but probably police radio or something. And then the floor, it's hard to tell what's going on there, if it's dirt or damage. And this one looks like one back seat is in, but it's hard to tell if maybe the mounting stuff for the second back seat is gone. And then that almost looks like a third row seat in the back there. Hard to say. So here's a different auction, and this one's close, meaning these are the final bid prices that the vehicle sold for. So this just kind of gives you an idea of what you might be able to get at one of these auctions, seeing all of the condition and the sales price and everything. So sometimes I'll go back and look at these just for use as far as helping me decide what to bid on whatever I'm looking at. And so these look like they're in decent shape. Certainly the issues that I'm seeing are things that I could personally fix up. But there again, there's the rip in the seat and the wires hanging down in the middle. Seems to be a common theme with these. And then this looks like there's no back seat, so that's certainly something to think about. And then of course the doors not having the inside panels. Don't know how easy those are to find at junkyards. Shouldn't be a big problem because I know there's lots of Tahoes out there, but you never know until you look. And here's another one. This one they gave 5 photos, so you kind of get a little bit of an idea. Like I said, I always prefer when they give you more. So this one looks like they left some of the police equipment in it. It's possible that you wouldn't actually get that when you go to pick up the car. Sometimes you got to read the description to see if they mention, photographs of equipment that won't be included. Texas changed the law a couple years back, and so they're actually supposed to remove all sorts of things that really aren't what I would call police equipment. Certainly things that are legal to have, like push bumpers and spotlights. So you're seeing kind of a wide range of auction vehicles in Texas now, as people don't always know the law. So Sometimes you see them with the push bar and with the spotlights and so forth, and sometimes you see them stripped down literally, where you wonder why they remove things that just don't need to be removed. So here's another one. Looks like it just needs some detailing. Certainly nothing that I couldn't handle. Probably most of you could handle as well. Seats look worn. The wires are hanging in the middle again. No back seats, although this one at least has the panels on the doors. So hope these are helpful to you. Well, thank you for watching. In the next video we will look at some more auctions, and I'll show you how these auctions end. We'll also look at some non-vehicle ones. Appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and please tell your friends about my channel. Thank you very much.